Okay, after a couple days now and being rubbed down softly with that cotton ball right there once. Got a little bit of dirt on it, not too much. That barrel is getting just the right kind of sheen to it. That's what you get when you polish that metal like a mirror first. Oh yeah. Isn't that beautiful? And that's just cold bluing. And I dusted off the stocks here. You can see, especially on a 4-stock, the finish is, there's enough in there to maybe seal the wood, but there's just no outer finish left to really see. So that's elm again too, by the way. You can tell. I'm gonna put a coat of True Oil on it, and took a couple of chip bag hangers I bought a month or so ago to clamp onto whatever I could find to the table to hang them on to dry. Just have to do. Just really hard to find something to hold it with, you know, while you're working on it. Because this one is like a Spencer. It's got that hole right there that goes all the way up through there. You need a long-handled tool to put that stock bolt in. So had to get creative. We'll see how it works, but oh man, that dang barrel is just looking good. Oh yeah. That gun is going to be gorgeous when it's done. Okay. Here it is after a couple minutes after I put the True Oil on. That's one coat of True Oil. Just let it flow out. This clamp here couldn't hold the weight of the buttstock. So I had to stand the buttstock up over there, and you can see a little bit of a shine there. There's a lot of grain figuring on that 4-stock, and I just had to put a coat of True Oil on that to make it pop, so you can really see it without being up close. This stuff dries in about 2.5 hours, so I figured about 3:15 that'll be dry enough to touch. Looking good. You see there where the stock bolt goes through from that big long hole. Interesting grain figuring once you get a bit of a clear coat on it. Light and dark spots, like right down through there. That's interesting. Must have been getting close to the heartwood on that side. Interesting heartwood figuring. They cut the heartwood out to make the stock with, and that probably would have looked better. But there they are. Okay, I took these two bushings out. One goes here, one goes back here on both ends of this shaft here, where that knuckle thing is that pulls the pellet out of the magazine to the breech. And I pulled these out from between these little metal plates right here that fits it in all this stuff here and over here and all of that. These two rods are part of this thing, and this rod here with the knuckle on it has this cam here that works it. Oh, and I got the valve all done here, and I want to put some moly lube, moly paste, whatever, and get the holes on these bushings here to make sure that shaft works real nice. So just a couple places I need to put some moly lube, and that's about it. And I'm not going to polish these up, the sears right there, because that looks like it's at least Parkerized. So it's got a certain wearing surface with heat and chemicals that's put on there, so I'm not going to mess that up. I'll just put some moly lube on it. So we'll try to get that going so that get this thing working again. Okay, now I cleaned up. Oh, I can't get that dang lid strap out of the way. Come on. Okay, now these are hollow bushings here and here. As I said, they go on the end of this shaft right here. So I put some moly paste inside there with some Q-tips. Regular Q-tips work better for this. And moly lube here, here, and here. So when the other half of the receiver goes on there, it'll be lubricated. And I'll put some on the sears and stuff there too. That's the hammer right there. And this cam has to go with this shaft here, has to slide between these two plates right here, the trigger plates, and the cam has to just be spring loaded up against the back of that. It's just some of those things where a couple of pairs of hands would work, but if you got to get that square camshaft with that knuckle thing there pushed down in there first. No, I got that wrong. I'm sorry. The two rods with the big spring goes in between these two trigger plates here, as this has to go down in there, right where the bushings have to sit in those bosses right there. So slide in, push down, and all just sort of clicks right into place. Pretty simple, really. And the barrel goes in right here. So we'll get to that eventually, but this barrel is just cured. I wiped it down a couple times with some soft tissue, and look at that. That cure is beautiful. With the shine and everything. I put on that metal first. That's just outstanding. That's one of the best jobs I've ever done. Kind of bluing. Okay. Also got some moly lube around the trigger sears and stuff there, just smooth things out. I didn't want to mess up the Parkerizing. And here we have everything back in place, and on the end right here, don't forget the little lock washer under the spring. Fits in that little groove right there. So, it's a lot simpler than you think. It just, the way it works is a little weird, but it's pretty straightforward. Just gotta make sure I get that dang valve seated in there just right, because it's, I don't know, I'm just getting the feeling I'm not getting, something's not getting on there right. I'm gonna figure it out when get the barrel in there and all that, which the one ring of the barrel fits right here. That's got the screw in it, and the threaded part goes over here to line up with this. And here, the other ring that slides on the barrel fits in there, and you can see there's holes there and there. And I'm the same on the other receiver half where the screws go through to hold everything together. And the CO2 and that star wheel piercing thing and all that goes right here and points that way. Okay, this knuckle here was sitting way over here. It was like 90 degrees out of rotation. Kind of like a distributor, get it 90 degrees out of rotation, that thing is not going to fire. But anywho, got everything lubed up again and in the position it's supposed to be in. So, get a nail to use for a bolt on that probe that goes in that long slot there with that big long spring, the magazine for the pellets. And then we can get this thing back together. Just gotta fire up the Dremel and make a bolt for the probe that goes in there to move the spring back and forth with those little locking notches. But anyway, that is the way things are supposed to be. Okay, well, here we are, all the small parts and everything out, so that try to get this thing back together as much as we can. But I don't have the bolt for the probe that holds the spring in the magazine right there. I need a nail to make a new bolt out of it. I don't have one, so I can only put it back together so far. But do as best we can, because I got a hot Sound 135 there. I got to tune, and guy's not going to wait forever for me to finish this stupid thing. But we'll get it back together as much as we can. So, also got that little tiny screw with that shiny plate that goes on the back of the rear sight here. Reflects light, so it's easier for you to line it all up, I guess. Okay, now should be 4 of these screws, and I only got 3, but these shorter, thinner ones right here go through these holes on this one back here. The holes underneath it. On the other side of this thing, I don't want to flip it over and dump everything out trying to. Maybe I can, I don't know. That screw right there. That's the one on the left, the one that's shorter and thinner. Those go on the rear one, which means I'm probably missing one. Goes on the front, and they got 2 of those I thought went through these 2 holes right here, but it's got to hold. It's got to hold the rear sight on, so I think that's the 2 longer ones in the middle there. It's a little bit of a where the whole thing's not threaded. And one thing I didn't notice, when you get these holes lined up for the holes in the receiver and all that on the other side here, you see that? This is instead of being straight like this, it's cocked like that. You start to see now how the valve here works. Between the chamber, the knuckle, and that long spring-loaded firing pin there. We'll figure it out. Let me show you what I mean here. See? Forestock crooked. Completely crooked. The buttstock is crooked. Now this part's crooked. Somebody didn't line something up the right way when they drilled and tapped holes. Because that thing, I don't know what to make of that. I really don't. I'm going to screw that on now anyway, so it'll help provide a little support and keep the barrel from getting messed up. It'll look good. I don't know, I'm missing something here. But you got to get these things lined up to line these holes up in these spacer hold down, whatever the fuck they are, to get the bolt holes and the receiver halves lined up. And once you line them up, then the stocks are crooked. Okay. And loosen both of these set screws. Loosen the screws that go in here and here on the other side of the receiver right here. So I could then turn the barrel and forestock assembly like that to line it up with this thing. It lines up evenly with the receiver has. So I got that all lined up properly, and then retighten the screws. Because the screws that go in here through the receiver into these things, big one on the front, skinnier, shorter one on the back, also go against the barrel apparently and tighten that. It holds everything rigid. So it's like that sometimes, folks. The way you put these things back together is not the way they come apart. Not always. There's certain things, everything's got to be loose. All the screws in place, all the parts in place, and all that kind of thing. So you hold the big piece, like in this case, the barrel and the forestock in place. And then you tighten everything down, and it's all lined up real pretty. Phew. Okay. Making progress. You have to leave this shroud forward about 1/4 of an inch to get to the screw that's right there to screw it onto the barrel. And you take the end of this plastic screwdriver handle and just tap it back into place, just even with the front of the sight ramp. Oh, lining up real nice too. But we will continue on when I find a finishing nail the right size. To fit that hole right there. So this is the bolt probe. I need a bolt to be able to work it in this slot here where the spring goes for the magazine. Okay, my son took the women out to shopping last night, and they found me a couple of sizes of, well, there's wire brads, which of course are the smaller diameter, shorter ones. And then there's nails and brads, and this one, which are the bigger ones, the thicker ones. There's wire nails and brads, and then there's just plain nails and brads, which are bigger. That's a nail on the bottom, plain old-fashioned nail head, everybody knows. And then here's a brad. Looks more like it's got like a JDM shift knob shape on the end. Here's one here that just fits the hole in the magazine bolt probe. So I basically just gotta cut that down, and it's already got a knob on the end, like like the knob on a bolt to work the action. So this one will actually look better than the one it came with once I get it cut down to fit and just tap it in there. Okay, while the camera's battery was charging, I grabbed the black calligraphy marker and put this probe back in the slot here with these slots this thing rests in, so I could measure a good length for the bolt that goes on that probe. You see that brad has a nice sort of shift knob shape on the end. Thought that would add to the look of it. And we'll just cut that off and tap it into that part and stick that in there. But I'm still going to have to, I got a generic spring. It's the right diameter and tension and everything. It's just longer, so you got to use a grenade clip with the little bolt. It's sort of a smooth bolt that goes back here. The spring goes on, and you stick. It's got a hole in it, so you stick a grenade clip through this second slot right here and into the little hole So you get as much of that spring on it, that smooth bolt as you can, so that you can use a paper clip as the grenade clips that we use in the shop, so you can hold the proper length in place and then just cut it off. So that would automatically give me the right length for this magazine here. Okay, now that we've got it cut off to length, I can use my all-purpose tool here to tap that in there, and we can drop that in, and then we can kind of get a look at how that's going to go, and then I can degrease and blue it. Let that sit till tomorrow or so, and then we can try to finish putting this thing back together and get on those other rifles. I'm starting to get work backed up. Always happens right before Christmas. That's gonna look better than it started out with all them years ago. I'm gonna say early '66. Okay, now they've got that crazy glued, so it won't slide up and down. I'll have to let that cure till tomorrow before I can glue it. This stuff's got to be thoroughly cured first, so the chemicals don't get to it. But it's gonna be nice. A real nice little finger bolt for that thing. Okay, I got the crazy glue cured on this bolt here, but there's a hump on the bottom I gotta grind down. I hope it doesn't mess up the glue, so it'll actually fit in this narrow slot here. There's a little lump on the bottom. It doesn't quite want to go, so I gotta fix that. And here it is, all smoothed out on the bottom, so it should fit in that little slot properly now. Yep. That smaller diameter end fits in a direction. I've got it in here because it fits on the front end of the spring. Back end of the spring goes on a probe that's about 1.25 inches long back here. That's got a hole in it for the grenade clip that goes in that slot right there. But that fits nice now. It's just enough to grab a hold of with the tip of your thumb and forefinger to work the bolt. Like a machine gun, you got to pull the bolt back with that spring to make it keep loading and ejecting and loading more bullets. In this case, you work the lever after you load this up, and the spring-loaded magazine makes the pellets go into that knuckle thing up there. You'll see when I go to shoot it. It looks a little weird and complicated inside, but it's really not. That should be fine. I might even leave that silver, real bright cadmium plating, and if you can't blue that, I hate to ruin the finish on it. I don't know. What a relief. Those brads and finishing nails, the brad has the shift knob sort of head on it, where the finishing nail just has a flat traditional nail head on it. For CAD plated, I was worried the bluing might not take to it, but it might ruin the CAD plating on there and mess the whole thing up. Well, such was not the case. That CAD plating takes the bluing very well, quickly, and evenly. So that's what it looks like, sprayed with oil, and got to let it cure. I was able to reblue the bottom where I had to smooth it out where the little bit of nail was sticking out so it would fit the the magazine track right there. So then we let that cure until tomorrow, and you can start putting this thing back together and cut the magazine spring to length. Need a grenade clip to do that. I'll have to show you guys how to do that one. So that's one where you want to pay attention. It was Precision Pellet. James, I think his name was. It has parts for the Model 99s, and that generic sort of spring, magazine spring was one of them. There it is. Let it cure and we're good. Okay, I got the butt plate back on the stock. Unfortunately, the upper screw hole is stripped, so I'm going to have to wrap a few rounds of Teflon tape on there to see if I can tighten that up. The bottom screw is fine. That top one, no matter which screw you put in there, it's loose and it's just about stripped. Looks good though, that one coat of True Oil though. And I've also reinstalled this, I call it a star wheel, I don't know what else to call it. Where you put the skinny end of the CO2 cartridge in there, and just pushes up against the base to pierce it and all of that. That's what the hole in the back of the forestock here is for, is the bolt. And I've got the old spring right there. I lost the new one. I can't imagine what I did with it. I don't know. Oh, come on. Open up, darn it. So hard to handle these things. Okay. And here is that smooth bolt that goes back there. That you push that spring, as much of that spring down on as you can, and I'm using a small paper clip there as a grenade clip for that little hole, so you can hold it on there and trim it down with a pair of wire cutters if I can friggin' find them. Lost all my doggone the pack of needle nose with the wire cutters in it. Need those for my fingernails too, and I can't find them. Okay, I put some Pelgun oil on the front side of the nuts there on the bolt, so it would kind of help lube that thing. I can't turn it back out again. You can screw it in, but I can't screw it out. It's so tight it doesn't want to work. You can see that one flange there is a little bent. Too much pressure on that thing. And I took the part of that long spring that was bent, that was over on the front over here, and put it on the back of the pin. So the part that was straight is now in front, till I find the new spring that needs to be cut. But he said he gets much of that spring on that. Jim at Precision Pellet told me to get as much of that the spring as I can on this pin here, and use like a paper clip for a grenade clip in that little hole there, as you can see, to hold it on until we can put that thing back in there to put it back together, and that'll be, you know, the last part that goes on. So we got that, and we got that thing there about as ready as it's going to be. I still want to put a seal on the seal in front of this doggone, the white part of the valve there. That's making me nervous. There was a seal on there, but they didn't give me one that fits that thing. I don't know what to do, but I'm going to try. Okay. Got all the screws back in. I think these two set screws go on those two rings on the other side inside of here to set those in place from the inside. Wish I'd have thought I'll do that another time, because it's still clamped together. Oh, I can't work it to show you at the same time, but there's that bolt probe thing I used to nail as a bolt in, and got that all Glued real nice so it fits. And the grenade clip fit in that slot right there. Well, anyway, it's back together and functioning. Oh, if I could just get this dumb thing to sit up someplace for a minute. I can't balance it, and I can't hold the camera and balance it at the same time. There's just too many things to hold on to. Okay, anyway, you flip that up, bring it all the way back here. Oh, and put it in that slot right there to load the pellets in right there. And pretty much had to guess which of these screws went where and all of that, but they're all back where they belong now. Okay, got the rear sight on, but yet again, here's an example of some screws that just like some of the other screws on this thing are just shy of, like somebody stripped them, and I had to find a place where I finally got them to start threading and tighten down, but you can't. They're not going to stay that way. And this thing was blued. I don't know why somebody did that. That's supposed to make it easier to line up the front and rear sights in the dark. The barrel looks nice though, doesn't it? This does, using that, look at about a 18 gauge brad, blued and everything on that bolt probe, and I got the spring in there, and that's looking all good. I don't know, I'm missing a couple screws that would go in there, or that's where a side mount scope mount goes on. I don't know. I got these here. I don't remember where they went, to be honest. I don't know if they went on those two disc things in here, you know, that the barrel goes on, like on this side, or if they go in here. I don't remember. Okay, I'm gonna oil the threads on the buttstock bolt there with some Rem oil. I'm gonna stick it through the hole in the back of that one, all the way up through the nut that's inside it right there, like 760s typically. And got one of the large Umarex standard screwdriver fitting in a 10mm socket, I guess it is. A 1/4 inch drive, okay, 1/4 inch, whatever. And a big long extension here from my son's toolkit. I'm missing mine, so I can get it all threaded together basically. Okay, I even managed to get a little straighter right here. It was showing a lot of metal on the back of the receiver here before somebody had been in there trying to fix it and put it back together crooked, and it looks like there was a little bit of damage here and there from somebody trying to do the job and didn't know what they were doing. Not knowing what they're doing sure doesn't stop some people from trying, though. But it's pretty. I gotta find some Teflon tape and deal with that thing. Okay, I wrapped some common masking tape around the upper butt plate screw. I got it a little more snug, but it's not tight. That hole is gone. I don't know. I'm gonna have to drill. I hate to drill it out and fill it in, and you know that's a lot of damn work to re-tap one of those dang holes in a piece of wood. Just can't find my doggone thread sealing tape, so I can wrap a bunch of that around there. Keep find enough to wrap around it to where the damn thing will go tight. But Teflon tape being real thin, it could get pressed into place properly and would work right. Just can't find. I got like 3 or 4 rolls of that stuff and I keep losing them. But oh, I still Pete. Anyway, it's back together. I oiled where the bolt goes through into the forestock for this thing, and the 2 nuts are here and here. I finally got oiled up and where I can make the darn thing move. That was stuck pretty bad before. We'll see if I can get a CO2 cartridge in it. That valve is messed up inside there, and I don't know. I just the stuff the Baker Airguns gave me with the seal kit. A lot of seals I can't use. A lot of parts that don't fit. I got to go someplace. I have got to make this valve seal. I got everything put together. It pierces just fine. I think I just can't get the darn thing to seal. It blows it right out the top of the action. I'm just not. Something inside that thing isn't sealing to where. Well, it's not holding the gas in. You don't have a tube to put the valve in to hold the gas. That's the problem. The valve has to hold the gas. Oh, this thing slipped again. Oh no. Oh, hold on everybody. I gotta tighten this thing up. I'm just not gonna be satisfied until that damn thing is tight. I had it tight and now it's loose again. Oh, I wanted to shoot a couple stinking pellets through the dumb thing. Oh. How the hell did that thing get so darn loose? I tightened it up. Tightened it up and hadn't touched it again until... It's just gonna take till absolutely. Gonna take till I run out of timer on the tape thing. I can't get the darn thing. Oh, now it fell over. Oh great, I'll just drop the doggone screw thingy that goes in the end of the other thing to tighten this up. I'm dropping all the tools on the floor. Doggone thing is getting unnerving. It's hard when you're handicapped and can't bend over or get down on your knees, and now you have to because you're dropping all the tools on the floor. Damn, that thing's about to sweep me out of here. Okay, anyway. Okay, I got that evened out a little bit more there. And you can see that 18 gauge finishing, well, brad. 18 gauge brad works real nice. There's a little bolt for the magazine probe to put the pellets in here and tail first and get them down in there. And I got the thing in there and everything, but it just blows out right through here. So the upper front thing on the valve isn't sealing. They didn't give me a seal the right size for that white disc thing. I just can't. I don't know. I need to get this thing sealed up and need to get the right parts. So, anyway, it's done. I just got to get in there and monkey with the valve. I had to do that with the 160 5 or 6 times. I got the dumb thing to seal. But anywho, it works. Okay, now here's something here. Watch this little knuckle thing. I call a knuckle right there. See, it goes like that, just like I told you. To line up the hole there, it's like a funnel shape with the magazine to pick up a pellet and then put it in front of the chamber, right? Breech, whatever. And this half cock is low power. Pull it all the way back, it's full power. And that's it. Even the barrel looks good. That barrel came out really nice. Got some fingerprints on it now, but it's still shining real nice. And use tap that button down. Try to keep that even right here. That globe thing. Well, anyway, that's it for the Crosman Model 99 restoration. I just got to take the valve out, keep monkeying with it. I finally get the dumb thing, the right parts or something. But basically, the parts that Baker gave me aren't like the parts that came in. The thing is, some of the parts and seals and stuff don't even go in that one that I could find. But I don't know. I'll have to do a little more research, and we'll get that thing working, because everything is working except for the CO2 through the valve. It's just blowing straight through. Once we get that figured out, then that's going to be a fun little shooter. So, good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. We'll see you again.